All right, hey everyone. We got quite a few letters in the P.O. box today. I guess they built up and not sure what happened, but we're going to work our way through them for any of them that are public. I think my wife has already uploaded one from Sean. I've got one from Schaefer Cox that we uploaded earlier, and this one is from Jason Gerhard. He was a young man that was a part of the Ed and Elaine Brown standoff, and his release date is about 8 years out. So that's his address, Jason Gerhard, FCI Federal Correction Institute, Allenwood Low, P.O. Box 1000, White Deer, Pennsylvania. He is not a Christian, but we're working on him. And I pray that you write him a letter. Give him some encouraging news. He promised to read the Bible, which is all that we can ask, right? So I'm praising God that he's reading through the Bible. That's him right there, by the way. And that's Ed Brown. That's Luke Radowski with We Are Change. And I should know this gentleman's name. I think he went to jail for a little bit too, but I just don't know his name, so forgive me for that. Let's go to his letter. And here it is. It's written on the 26th. It got here on March the 10th. So what is that? It took 2 weeks to get here. Enclosed is an essay I wrote concerning the BOP's inability to honor their word to provide educational material on the inmate MP3 players. Really amazing. This morning I finished Romans. Keep in mind he's reading through the New Testament, so we're praising God for that. I sent him a Ruckman Commentary Bible. He even asked for a second one because his friend liked it so much. So he's read Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, now he's in Romans. Some good verses in there. Romans 12, 19 through 20 is good advice. He's having trouble with chapter 13, which says to obey evil rulers. He says that's hard to swallow. That's not what it says. I know that's probably how he's reading it. There's books on that. Matter of fact, let's finish his letter, and I want to share with you guys what I told him, or what my response to that. So he's having a problem with Romans 13. I can completely understand that. Matter of fact, I would say that's natural. We'll take care, and I'll send that to you after the first. Thanks again. I'm not really sure what he means. What's he going to send me? So, just to let you know, I was going to send him this Timothy Baldwin book, Timothy and Chuck Baldwin book, but it's like $20, man. You add shipping, it's going to be $25. So I read the write-up about this book. I have not read this book yet, but it sounded good. If any of you guys, and I hate to go cheap, but I tell you, when you're supporting anywhere from 12 to 20 prisoners, what? Oh, let me close the door. Hold on just a second. All right, my wife is on the phone, so I'm trying to finish this video, but I'm not trying to be cheap, really, and if it means somebody's salvation, it's just you try to use your resources the best you know how, and you try to sink your resources into what you get the biggest bang for your buck. And $20-something, you're going to end up spending $24 probably by the time you pay shipping. I would like to send him the Chuck Baldwin, Timothy Baldwin, Romans 13 book, but as you can see, it's very expensive. This book right here called Resistance to Tyrants, Romans 13 and the Christian Duty to Oppose Wicked Rulers, seem to have a good write-up. I have not read it yet. It's by Mr. Gordon E. Runyon. If you guys have read this book, let me know. Or even a better option, because I know that we've got some really knowledgeable Christians out there. If you have a write-up of your own, and you have a way to put Romans 13 in context, that it's for lawful governments, and that God's law takes precedent over man's law, please write Jason Gerhard a letter and share that with him, because he's having difficulty with Romans 13, and many of you can understand why. So just be aware of that, okay? And just to reiterate, I did send him this book, this yellow one here, Resistance to Tyrants. I have not mailed him this one yet. If it becomes more of an issue and I feel like I need to pull out the extra $25, I will do it, but I don't want to do it until we get to that point. So, but if you guys want to write him a letter and tell him what you think about Romans 13, about obeying evil rulers, feel free to do it. Okay, let's go on. Sincerely, Jason. Okay, he wrote some kind of article about MP3 players in prison. He wrote it in January of 2017, so it's only a couple of months old. Allenwood Observer, giving the truth even if uncouth. January 2017, issue number 1, his very first issue. Okay, we're going to read this quick because we need to get through this, and here goes. MP3s, Music to the Ears by Jason Gerhard. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, FBOP, the MP3 players that were sold to inmates beginning in 2012 were supposed to provide culturally diverse music to remote locations, and allow for the dissemination of educational material, among other purposes. Since being launched, however, legitimate educational material has proven elusive. Advanced Technologies Group, ATG, based out of West Des Moines, Iowa, was awarded the contract to provide the media for inmate MP3 players. For fiscal year 2012, AGT was paid $6,750,000 for music downloads. Tracks are priced in 3 difficult tiers, 80 cents, $1.20, and $1.55. A Freedom of Information Act request, FOIA, filed in January 2016 asking for the total MP3 sales nationally since the inception of MP3 players in the Bureau of Prisons was denied in August. Northeast Regional Counsel Michael D. Tafelsky wrote that the records you request are not agency records. Agency records are either created or obtained by an agency under agency control at the time of the FOIA request, adding that the Federal Bureau of Prisons does not track data in the manner you seek. Atul Gupta, chairman and CEO of ATG, sent to the BOP in 2011 a memo explaining that music provides price songs at different prices. The table below provides the 3 prices as well as an estimate of the percentage of songs in the library in each level. Unfortunately, the BOP redacted the price and percentage data in the table under 5 USC B4, which protects trade secrets and commercial or financial information obtained from a person that is privileged or confidential. Inquiries made to staff as to when educational material would be available on the MP3 players were met with some variant of the "that's above my pay grade" line. On August 24, 2015, I began the administrative remedy process, requests that audiobooks, podcast, foreign language instruction, etc. be provided to inmates in accordance with the Trust Fund Manual. On September 22, 2015, the warden wrote, "All material available for purchase for use with the MP3 player is decided by the central office and the contractor who controls the software. Because of this, we were not able to resolve this issue at this level." Next Regional Director J.L. Norwood responded to my grievance on February 23, 2016. The vendor of the Bureau of Prisons provides access to different genres of music, as well as some educational material that can be purchased. Mr. Norwood assured me the BOP has limited control over what materials are offered. However, there is research being conducted to find different ways to offer educational material. Accordingly, your appeal is denied. Raising doubts as to the veracity of Mr. Norwood's claims is the June 6, 2016 FOIA response from the Northeast Regional Counsel. In response to your request for educational material provided through MP3 players, staff thoroughly searched for the records you requested using the terms and search parameters referenced in your request. However, we located no records responsive to your request. The MP3 library is divided into numerous genres. Among these are 4 that would seem to relate to educational material: spoken word educational, spoken word spoken, spoken word educational, Jewish content, spoken word literature. There are a total of 247 tracks in the spoken word educational category. Of these, 216 are from Mordecai Ben David. According to Wikipedia, Ben David's real name is Mordecai Werdiger. It describes him as an American Hasidic Jewish singer and songwriter popular in the Orthodox Jewish community. He is also known as the King of Jewish Music. But wait, it gets even weirder. Ben David's music is considered soul-touching and spiritually uplifting, with most of the lyrics based on Hebrew prayer, biblical passages, and religious poetry, known as Zimmerst. His recordings include traditional melodies of Eastern European folk style alongside more modern jazz, pop, and rock music. For those who are curious, his father, David Werdiger, was a Hazen cantor and Holocaust survivor originally from Krakow. This category also contains 1 track from Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson and 2 tracks from Rabbi Y.Y. Palatial. The remaining tracks are not in English. Within spoken word literature are such well-known classics as A Didergo Corrali and Borsozum Herzikasazoni, along with 20 other tracks not in English. The spoken word category contains some worthwhile material, but it is prohibitively expensive. For example, Noam Chomsky's album, The Clinton Vision, has 22 tracks. These tracks are less than 1 minute 20 seconds, and none is longer than 6 minutes. Yet each track is $1.55, making the album's total cost $34.10. The only biblical album that I found, the New Testament Matthew, is similarly very expensive. It contains 28 tracks at $1.20 each, making the whole album $33.60. Given that it has been over 4 years since MP3 players were first introduced, and this is the best the BOP can do, there can be no doubt that there is absolutely no concern for providing educational opportunities within the federal prison system. For those of us who believe education is truly important, we must demand the following. Number 1, free educational material is made available within the MP3 library. If need be, inmates can be enlisted to record audio books. Number 2, complete transparency of the financial arrangement the BOP has with ATG. This would include information as to whether the BOP receives any financial remuneration from MP3 media sales. Number 3, the BOP immediately starts looking for another MP3 media provider if ATG proves unwilling or unable to perform as expected. BOP apologists will probably be quick to argue that the contractor is primarily responsible and prison officials are, at worst, simply incompetent. Yet a recent incident demonstrates that even local BOP officials are actively hindering education. While at FCI Fairton in New Jersey, I purchased a digital Spanish-English translator from Amazon.com. Since arriving at LCSI Allenwood, Pennsylvania in March 2016, I've been trying to purchase a different translator with more languages. The warden, however, refuses to allow inmates to purchase them. I have filed an administrative remedy on this, but it has been denied at the institutional and regional level as of this writing. Why this item would be allowed at a medium security facility but denied at a low security facility is beyond me. For all its faults, the American prison system does present a few opportunities to those captured in its grasp. One of these is an enormous amount of free time. Thanks to a mother who instilled the importance of an education on her 3 sons, I have been imbued with a deep desire to learn. Granted, this desire did hibernate for most of my teens due to various chemicals, but the flame never went out. This flame, I believe, exists in most people, even those in prison. The goal then is to locate it and throw gasoline, educational material, on it until it turns into an uncontrollable, self-sufficient blaze. From where I am sitting, the BOP seems to be a firefighter obsessed with squelching any flame, no matter how small. They truly embody one of the tenets from George Orwell's 1984, ignorance is strength. For more information and other writings by Jason Gerhard, go to American Political Prisoners Alliance at http://AmericanPoliticalPrisonersAlliance.info. All right, that's Jason Gerhard. That's his address. Remember, he wrote me a letter, and he's concerned about Romans 13. So if you guys want to write him a letter about Romans 13, I'm sure he would love to hear your thoughts on that. And I do take the position that we do not blindly follow evil rulers, but we follow the law until the law conflicts with God's law. And it's better to obey God than it is to obey man. So we need to somehow communicate that to Jason, who's having a hard time with that chapter. Keep in mind, Jason is not a Christian, but we're working on him. And it's a good thing that he's reading the Bible, and it's a good thing that he's asking these questions. Let's get him some answers and continue to disciple him and encourage our brother, even if he's an atheist at this point. Let's encourage this young man and be his friend and show him some love. God bless every one of you, and you guys have a great day.